First up, the CBI Special Court hearing of the Babri Mosque demolition case will frame charges against senior BJP leaders LK Advani, Uma Bharti, Murli Manohar Joshi and 9 others in the 1992 Ayodhya case today. The Supreme Court had ordered prosecution of the 3 and for criminal conspiracy charges in the politically sensitive case. It had also ordered day-to-day trial to be conducted and to be completed in 2 years. CBI Special Judge S.K. Yadav said no application for adjournment or exemption from personal appearance shall be entertained. And charges of criminal conspiracy against them would be framed under Section 120B of the Indian Penal Code. The Apex Court called the destruction of Babri a crime which shook the secular fabric of the Constitution. It allowed CBI's plea seeking restoration of criminal conspiracy charges against BJP leaders. Tight security arrangements have been made in and around the Session Court compound for the senior leaders.
This is a legal process. Let it happen. And we are sure our leaders, they are innocent. They will come out unscathed in the entire thing. As the case is on, I don't want to make any comment because the outsiders are not supposed to speak about the case and make any comments on this.
मैं 6 दिसंबर को अयोध्या में मौजूद थी और ये भागीदारी खुली हुई थी और इसमें तो भाजपा के करोड़ों कार्यकर्ता, लाखों अधिकारी और हजारों नेता शामिल हुए हैं, सारे ही नेता। तो इसलिए इसमें ऐसी कोई बात कहीं मुझे मिली नहीं ना आज तक की कोई साजिश थी।
अदालत का जो आदेश है वो सराखों है, उसका पालन करना है और अदालत ने आज समन जारी किया हम लोगों के खिलाफ, तो उसमें उपस्थिति होना है तो हम लोग जाएंगे। अब जो होगा होगा, देखेंगे।
अडवाणी जी हों, चाहे जोशी जी हों, चाहे उमा भारती जी हों, सबके लिए कानून को एक जैसा होकर के अपना निर्णय देना है। उसके निर्णय का हम स्वागत करेंगे।
स्वाभाविक रूप से न्यायिक प्रक्रिया है और न्यायिक प्रक्रिया में जो आरोपी हैं या जिनको किसी गवाही लेनी है या जिनसे न्यायालय कुछ चाहता है कि इनको ये संलग्न व्यक्ति हैं तो उनको समन करता है। न्यायालय के आदेश का सबों को पालन करना चाहिए, सम्मान करना चाहिए।
And to discuss more on this, we're joined by our political editor, Kartikeya Sharma, for more discussion on the case. Kartikeya, also what we've been reading as the CBI court back in 2001 and the Allahabad High Court had upheld the judgment which the CBI court had dropped, in fact, in 2007. But Supreme Court came, strong and on April 19, in fact, revived the conspiracy charges. This certainly gives us an outlook that at least the legal framework believes that the secular fabric of India cannot be destroyed, even if it's about senior BJP leaders.
See, there are two things here. When there's a question of criminal conspiracy, another issue is of the secular fabric. To put this on record, the word secular was not part of Indian Constitution. It was made between 1947 and 1952. When the Constituent Assembly debate started in 1946, the word secular was included in the Constitution during emergency by Mrs. Indira Gandhi. Even the founding fathers did not insert the word secular in it because the emphasis was on the word republic. But keeping that aside, because I don't think that this is a testament on the secular fabric of this country or not, issue is of criminality, issue is of conspiracy, issue is whether they incited the mob or not. That's the basic issue. And the courts will look into the fact whether LK Advani, Murli Manohar Joshi or Uma Bharti did use certain words which have become part of the folklore. For example, when you look into the folklore, the written narrative which is available, the words like ek dhakka aur do, or the fact that, the sort of assurance given then by the Chief Minister Kalyan Singh, who happened to preside over Uttar Pradesh, and now he has got constitutional immunity because he happens to be the governor of Rajasthan. Did he do his job properly? In Lieberman Commission, there are letters between Shankar Rao Chavan, who happened to be Home Minister, father of Ashok Chavan, Congress MP now, and then Home Minister, close friend of P.V. Narasimha Rao. And in that, admitting that, on certain issues, Kalyan Singh really took Shankar Rao Chavan on a wild goose ride, because there were a lot of assurance which were given by Kalyan Singh, which were not adhered by him. So now what the court will say, that in 2001, there was a judgment which said that the conspiracy charges against these senior leaders should be dropped. Then the matter went to the High Court, and the High Court said, yes, this is a correct decision. CBI challenged it in the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court said that you have dropped the charge on a technical ground. Now the conspiracy charges must be framed. So the issue here would be, what are those conspiracy charges? Is it going to be of a direct abetment? Is it going to be of incitement? Is it going to be on that they were present there and they did not feel their responsibility? Because as per the law, if I am not wrong, you have complicit involvement and you have implicit involvement. For example, in matters of suicide, even if you are implicitly involved, that you did not provoke a person for suicide, but you knew that he could have done it, but he didn't do anything, it constitutes a crime, but a lesser crime. Complicity is a bigger crime. So today, court will go into all these nuances: implicit, complicit, direct, indirect, abetment. I can go on, but the fact is that then we have to also understand that the people who are there in dock, the BJP stands today because of them. BJP was insignificant before L.K. Advani took over the party. It had 2 Lok Sabha members in 1984. It had 89 members in 1989 when they supported VP Singh as the Prime Minister. And then in 1991, they went on to become the biggest party in opposition. And in 1996, BJP became the biggest party in the Lok Sabha, and that is how the famous Tera Din Ki Sarkar came into existence when Vajpayee became the Prime Minister. So today's case is less about the judicial travails of L.K. Advani, Murli Manohar Joshi, and it is more about how it is going to impact our politics, Lok Sabha elections, popular empathy, sympathy for Bharatiya Janata Party, and the way it might polarize. So the proceedings are less about the judicial travails of Margdarshak Mandal and more about the way they're going to impact our politics.
Absolutely, Karthik. Adding to that point, these senior BJP leaders are the Margdarshaks, in fact. And so how does, if they're found guilty, in fact, one cannot really predict right now, but if they're found guilty, how will that reflect on the party and what kind of political ramifications is this likely to have?
See, going by the tough position which Uma Bharti has taken, I'm 100% sure that Uma Bharti wants to extract the maximum political mileage, and who doesn't want to do that? Because in politics, sympathy and being underdog creates good votes for you. Indira Gandhi, after doing everything during emergency, gagging the press, putting the whole opposition in the jail, became actually bechari, or became underdog in Indian politics, because the way government of the day misbehaved with her. People felt that they violated the dignity of a woman. She was made to squat and sit on the road because policemen wanted to take her to the police station. So Indian public reacted in a very different way, and then came the Belchi where Dalits were massacred. She sat on top of an elephant and went there, and people felt that this old woman is back with gusto. She can be down but not out. So even in politics like this, even if his career, Mr. Advani's career, is over in a Bharatiya Janata Party, but he can still be a sort of a polarizing figure. He can recreate memories of the past. He can recreate more sympathy for Bharatiya Janata Party. And that is where the story is. There are other people we don't talk about. Nritya Gopal Das, Ram Vilas Vedanti, Baikunt Lal Sharma, Champat Rai Bansal, Bahan Dharab Das, Satish Pradhan. These are all people who were there. But these are lesser names. So the stories are always about the bigger names. When it comes to Mr. Joshi, he has maintained stony silence on this issue. But Mr. Advani, that is where the eyes will be, because he is the patriarch of Bharatiya Janata Party in absence of Mr. Vajpayee, who has been ailing for quite some time now.
Also, Karthikeya, so how does this reflect for the Bharatiya Janata Party? Because we're also looking at, not very soon, but of course, the general elections in 2019. So how will this shape around, whatever the verdict will be? These are senior BJP leaders. How will it reflect on the party when the upcoming elections are? Or will it really polarize the voters then?
See, I would say that why is Ram Janam Bhoomi agitation and the destruction of Babri Masjid is so important in India's contemporary history, because after partition there were a lot of events, episodic events of systemic violence in many parts of this country, where a lot of people died, both from majority and minority community. But for the first time, in terms of matter of faith, there was a mobilization, and that mobilization bandied for the first time after ages other backward classes with upper caste. And it was, India was seeing a full circle where the OBC was going through Sanskritization, the Yadav, the Kurmi, Meena, Gujar, and then you have Rajputs, Brahmins, and the Baniyas. This coming together was creating a different pan-Hindu identity. And remember, 1990, you have booming of video cassettes and booming of VCP and VCRs. So the visual image of India was, creating its own mental landscape. We have to see this in terms of technology also. So it is in this context this movement becomes very, very important. Many people see it as an attempt to break the secular fabric of the country. Many people see it as an assertion of matter of faith, which took an exception to the minority veto in the Indian politics. There can be multiple point of views here, and UP election bears testimony to that. So reviving memory of the most important episode after 1947, which became politically irrelevant in 2004, is of great significance. Now one has to see whether the mobilization is more than counter mobilization, or will mobilization hold sway over the counter. Because in the battle between Mandal and Kamandal in 1989, Mandal had the bigger kick for first 10 years, and Kamandal had greater say in regional spaces.
Absolutely, Karthikeya. Thank you for joining us on the broadcast with those analysis and updates.